Please don't play around with, annotation. Naman, you'll be kicked out of the room permanently. Not for today, forever you will be kicked out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let me start, day with a good note. We'll do some revision for tomorrow, yesterday's job. So we'll do some revision for yesterday, because the video was not available for some time and some of you could not revisit that. So let's have a recap of yesterday, some of the stuff, and then we'll
Your
move forward.
voice is breaking.
Okay. Take. Is this for all of you, gentlemen and ladies? It's for one or two, it's okay.
No, sir, you're absolutely fine.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm a little high bandwidth connection today, better than yesterday actually. So hopefully it will be okay. Okay. So bear with me, let's check, on two important points that we have discussed yesterday. That forensics, start with the first step is the imaging. And why imaging is required? Suppose if there is a cyber attack happened in one of the systems in your security operations center, you found the alert has been there in one particular system. Now you want to isolate the systems and you want to, do a forensics on that to understand what processes are going wrong and what memory forensics we need to carry out and do some further analysis on that. It is always good not to occupy the primary systems and take a backup, which we did it through DD command and DC3 DD command. Yesterday we have shown some demo for that. So one of these tools, or there is a tool known as DAY-9. Today we'll like to have a small, session on that as well. DAY-9 is a part of, built-in plans within the Kali Linux, and it's a little bit of user interface, GUI based interface. It's a very interesting product. It provides almost similar capability of DC3 DD, and it has got some plus. Every time when a new tool comes, it comes with some additional features. So it all starts with, taking the backups. Now, when you take the backup, you can take the disk backup, or you can take a file backup. If you know the particular event, related evidence in a particular folder or particular file, then you don't need to take the full backup. You know that, it is here. But if you're not aware about it, where the problem lies, you might need to take two backups. One may be for memory forensics, and another backup can be, for all your hard disk, as a backup. And these two things are different, and we'll go into the memory forensics little later part of when we'll start talking about volatility and the tools around that. But right now we'll focus only on the disk backup. So we have covered, the two tools, DD tools, which is one very powerful tool for forensics, and imaging is just a step, one simple steps, and the imaging can be done. And there were some challenges in DD, just for recap sake. Challenges was that if there is a backup is happening and if there is some error, sometime error was not getting, published. And if the progress is happening, some things, you really do not know where the progress is. DC3 DD, command has built those capability, and you have got, right way of tracking it, how the progress, how many errors, what errors are there, all those details are there. As the tool advances, the new generation tool comes, the new patches puts into the place. You always have some better functionalities for that. Okay. So DD, I have told you, it is as old as 1978 command. DC3D has come in 1998 time frame. So naturally it's a 20-year journey, and it has acquired a lot of, dimension of forensics attached to that. Okay. So evidence education, acquisitions and preservation with DC3DD and Geiger. We'll touch little bit on the Geiger today. Okay. So one very important thing that we have talked about, about investigation, that whenever you are taking the backup, definitely need to use, if it is you are using it for very specific purpose for law enforcement agencies, where you have to submit, evidences to the court of law, then it is always good to use, write blocker. And write blockers are of two types. Okay. Write blockers are software based as well as hardware based. By the way, even if it is hardware based, actually it is software inside the hardware, and you plug it, and that it stops the writing on the disk, and then you take the backup, and the backup remains intact. And to preserve the backup, we have also studied yesterday about something known as hashings. Okay, so we have learned fdisk. Yesterday we have worked on it, and then we have also learned about little bit about hash files. Okay, and yesterday we have seen a command of SHA or MD5. Two type of hashes. The one good thing is that the MD5 is an old version of hashings, where there is something known as collision attack. It's not part of the syllabus, but you can search for collision attacks, and you will find MD5 has been broken into pieces. Two files with the same MD hash, has been taken. You are, by doing an XOR command, a very simple XOR, you can find the clear text format, the passwords and ID, or sometimes hashing does not work. So when you go to the legal enforcement authority, it's always recommended that you should took minimum SAR2. And it is also, there is something concept known as salting. So SAR2 plus salting or SAR3 plus salting can be a good approach for that. SAR3, salting, we have not kept it outside the syllabus here, but at least SAR2 and SAR3, we can have a look of it, and we have demoed about the SAR2 yesterday. So with the help of DC3DD command, we can do the copying of file and folders, copying disk partition, a specific partition if you want to do, C partition, D partition, E partitions, like that. We can even do the copying based on hard disk drive error checking. So, this tool provide you the capability for that. Bit stream, disk acquisitions and cloning, we can do it, bit by bit writing from one clone, component of image to another one. And DC3DD, you can write multiple disks same time. If you want to do the cloning, five disk cloning you want to do in 5 different devices, if you can mount those 5 devices in your computers, you can do the bit streaming and cloning very easily. One good thing about the DC3DD's command is that it has got forensic wiping of all data and hard disk drives, and it basically it replaces with all zeros. That doesn't mean that you cannot retrieve the data in extreme forensic conditions. You can retrieve the data even you have wiped out with 0. The best practices for wiping it out, the complete disk, is to rewrite with zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. NIST recommend that if you replace every bit by 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, up to 7, and with every sector make it full by sector by sector, rewriting the information on the hard disk can, and then do the wiping, can lead to unrecoverable part of the data. And there is a NIST standard, FIPS 192 standards are there, which talks about that. So it has got some features, writing errors to the files we have discussed yesterday, verification of the files. We can do the hash checking, so whether the hashing has been done correctly or not, and the file is having the same hash or not, we can check it. We can wipe out the files, we can do the hash verification. And we can meter to monitor progress and acquisition time. What time it will take to acquire the evidences. Many times what happens when you are doing with DD command, you don't know how much time it will take. Based on the speed of the disk and the speed of your, the pipeline that you are having. Maybe if you are having USB 2.0, it is slow. If it is 3.0, it is little fast. If it is HDMI, it will be faster. It will be almost like a gigabyte speed. So it all depends upon how much time it will take to do the imaging. So what the DC3D does, it goes and find the volume of the entire, disk, and based on that, it does the predictive analytics and finds that how much time it is going to take, and it also shows the progress as the acquisition goes on. So the maintaining the integrity of the disk, we have used yesterday command. It was a very simple command, DC3DD command. And we have got, every command, just see it in this particular, screen, which is visible to all of you. It is divided into 6 buckets. So first is DC3DD, then if is equal to, which is your disk, which is mounted, then off image.dd, then BS512. 512 is your block. Then hash is here, we are using MD5 or SHA-256. So both files are there, and these logs are being saved in image.log. So command is very simple, it's not very complex, and there is a explanation for each command. The DC3D command itself, which is, all, how to invoke the DC3DD tool. And then, you have got specific input file names, which has to be there. Device source, what is the device source? What is the mounted, device that you are going to write it if you are using, Linux. And then, third one is your, the actual image that specifies the output file destination, where it will go. And based on that, the forensics image will be written. And it will, it will replace image.dd with a desired file name and part to your output image file. And the fourth step is BS512, the sets of the block size of 512 bytes. You can adjust this value based on your needs. If it is, 512 bytes is the common choice. Otherwise, you can increase the block size, which we had discussed yesterday. You can increase the size of the blocks, but readability for a smaller chunk of, blocks becomes easier. So recommended will be 512. Then you have got hash algorithms that need to be used. Here we are using both MD5 and SHA-256. So somebody want to check SHA-256, or MD5, both you can check it, and it provides you the integrity of the file systems. And the last one is the log file, which is a part of, record, which is a part of the hash mechanism, and log files where the hash values are kept. So now when you want to retrieve it, you have to actually read image.log file, which is the one which actually holds the hash value there. And that is how, the entire maintaining of evidence integrity is managed through the hashing algorithms. And yeah, so lastly, we have read about, file splitting capability. Remember that, I talked about it, that suppose if it is a 200 GB, file, and you don't want to have one file of 200 GB because this size is not there, then you can split the file into multiple files and you can do the hashing for that. To splitting the file, it is much easier with DC3DD, and where it's very simple command is there, where first you have to invoke a DC3DD command, and then you have to put what is the file name you are going to use. If is equal to file lakhs is the file name, which will be splitted, as a part of the command. And then what will be the file name where the split will be kept? So split file x is the name of the file. And then, it will go to 0.001, 0.002, 0.003, 0.005. Automatically, it will go like that. So split file, now suppose here what we are doing it, we are asking the system DC3DD command that you have to have a block size of 20 gigs. And then every gigs, 10 block size of 20 gigs will equivalent to 20 GB, 200 GB. And then, you can find the entire story that, 200 GB file has been splitted into 10 files. So, DC3D command, helps you particularly when you are taking the backup of cloud, which has got terabyte of information. If you want to make it readable, You can take, small block size, which we can read in the forensics machines. Nowadays, forensics machine has got some few terabyte information, but suppose if it is 100 terabyte informations are there, which need to be taken, it is always a good practice to do the splitting and read it block by block, and then do the analysis around that. Okay. And anytime we want to split file, you want to attach it also, it is very much possible to attach it. There is a command for that as well. And then we have read about the, verifying the commands, which is very simple. Again, same split test you can use, and we can find the, from the log file, we can take it and read it and see whether the hash file is matching or not. Okay. Then there was a command, for erasing drive using DC3DD. Now it's also possible, particularly when you are using the same disk for doing the multiple time backups and creating an ISO image around that. It is always a good practice to clean the disk 100%. Overwriting and filling the data using hexadecimal pattern, using the pattern options, that is the best thing to do it. And you can overwrite the entire data sets and clean the image completely. And the very simple command for this is, again, you have to invoke DC3DD command, and then you have to give the file name from where you have to delete the file from dev0, and then the mounted file is dev sdx, and then bs is equal to 1 megabyte information. So this command actually helps you erase the complete drive. And this can be a very useful tool when you are using the same disk for multiple times. And I'm sure when you will be doing the practice as a part of this program at your home, you might need to erase the disk multiple times, because when you will keep testing it and make your skills better, you will find that sometimes you have to erase the disk. So this command can be helpful for you for erasing disk. And you don't need to copy the command. If you want, you can type it out, but I'll give you the commands. At the end of the sessions, we'll give you the complete page for your friends, so that if anything is missed out, you can re-study. In any case, video will be available on YouTube. Join our video YouTube channel and subscribe it. That gives a small moral boosting dose for us. And then you can start using the videos which are lying there freely available for any one of us. Yes, Kanhaiya ji, you have raised your hand. Any questions there?
So please share the PPT also, sir.
PPT sharing is not possible, gentlemen. But we'll share you the content in a book format. Every
sir,
content,
yes.
whatever you are having, we have already shared you the Linux, basic documentation primer. We'll share you the complete Linux. I'm in the midst of writing a book on Linux, Kali Linux based forensics, and excerpts from there I'll give it to you. Okay, it's an original book written by me. Almost 375 pages are there. We'll give you around 125 pages which are relevant for you. Okay, no worry.
Okay, thank you.
And we have read yesterday the DD tools commands. I don't want to repeat it there, but image acquisition with DD is, again, just for recap sake, it's a very simple command. Sudo DD. Of course, you have to use the sudo, super user rights to use the DD command. First one is mounted the component, which disk mounting you are doing it, from where you have to copy the data. And then, it is image file.dd, which is the file which will be copied. The image will be created. Here we have taken the block size 4 megabyte, and then status is equal to progress. So this will show you the status also if you use status is to progress. Okay. By default, it does not, but DC3DD, by default, it shows you. Okay. And here you can put your file extension was DD, but we can use another format. You can use ISO format, particularly for Windows machines. It is ISO format is a better format. You can use that. Using this command, we can do the Guy Maker for using the simple UI also. So we'll learn today the Guy Maker components. Okay. Guy Maker is another, image acquisition tool. It's a standalone acquisition tool that can be used to create forensic images and perform disk cloning. Okay. Developed by Guy Wonken, Guy Maker is a completely open source, has many of the feature of DC3D, is also only available for Linux-based host. It is not for Windows-based host. Okay. So while some investigation may prefer CLI2, Guy Maker is a GUI tool is for the beginners, not for advanced. Okay. Advanced, I will believe that you should use the black screen. Okay. As previously done, we'll first ensure that we are familiar with the device attached to our machine, which is the whatever disk is booted, mounted, and then you can use the fdix command or -i command, for that purpose. And we'll do some practical around that today, if possible. Akash, we are going to do some practical on Guy Maker. Is that right? You are on mute, gentlemen. Am I audible, ladies and gentlemen? Any one of you?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir. You are
Audible
audible.
है sir आप.
So my Guy Maker has got certain small, limitations as well, but it's a good tool, to start learning using its UI capabilities. Okay. I'm not going to read it out. I think we'll do the practical, and after that we'll read this out. It's a very simple. You can see it here. It's a very simple screen. It shows. Just let me take you through. It takes you to the image directory where the image will be lying. What is the image file name which you want to make it? From where image directory is placed from the image created file and logs. Image file name is the name of the image file. Info file name is the name of the log containing acquisition details, which carries normally the hash values. And then hash calculation and verification you can do it. Read source after acquisition for verification, then verify image after acquisitions. So it will look like this. We'll let Akash decide. Okay, give me just 1 second. Let me see where the Akash is. Akash, are you there in the call? You are on mute, buddy. Give me just 1 second. Let me call him.
Am I audible now, sir?
You are audible, but you are still, I can see some cracking sound. So can I speak again? Akash, can you just, show some of the command that we have seen it yesterday, repeat it, for recording sake, and then take it to Guy Maker, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Let me share my screen, sir. Can you, sir, make me a co-host?
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask some questions?
By the time Akash joins, any one of you have any questions? Kanhaiya ji, you have asked questions. You have any more questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one basic question, sir. सर जब भी मैं फ्लैश ड्राइव से मतलब जैसे लाइव बूटेबल जो फाइल है मेरे पास उससे मैं लॉग इन
हाँ
करता
हाँ
हूँ सर मतलब उससे मैं अपना पीसी स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ तो सर काली का जो भी हिस्ट्री है ना सर वो ऑटोमेटिकली डिलीट हो जाता है अभी मैंने कल आपको एक इश्यू बताया था जो DC3 लोकेट नहीं हो पा रहा था तो
अच्छा,
मैंने
नहीं,
रिमूव
दोबारा
किया
लोड कर लो। देखो क्या है,
हाँ
लाइव बूट ड्राइव में ये सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं और इट वेरी मतलब अनप्रिडिक्टेबल बेस्ड ऑन द कंप्यूटर दैट यू आर यूजिंग। तो वो चैलेंजेस रहते हैं, लेकिन बट ठीक है ना, DC3D को दोबारा लोड कर लो, इंस्टॉल कर लो, एपीटी कर लो
हाँ
फिर से।
सर हाँ सर वो मैं कर चुका हूँ लेकिन मैं सुबह से भी 2 बार वापस ये 2 बार मैंने इसमें लॉग ये लाइव
हाँ,
बूटेबल
तो
फाइल
आप
को
इसमें
ओपन
कर
किया
लो। आप इसको एक
तो
काम
बार
करो,
बार करना
आप
पड़ रहा है सर जब जब मैं
वीडीआई 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 में करके देख लो। वीडीआई से हो रहा है तो वीडीआई में करके देख
ओके
लो। वीडीआई थोड़ा ज्यादा स्टेबल रहता है।
You have to make persistence for your bootable device for that purpose.
I can't get you sir I can get
Because your voice is very weak and meek actually.
So you have to make persistence for your bootable device. You have to make a partition to store the data data of the device.
okay so how can I do that uh,
You can go through the Kali Linux documentation for that. I will share the link for it.
okay thank you so much share
Yeah.
thank you sir
So Akash, you start with, yesterday's, some commands, because many people were asking questions. Just narrate it once again and then go to Guy Maker. Okay.
Okay, sir. Is my screen is visible, sir? Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible, Akash ji.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, in yesterday's lecture, we have seen some basic commands around DD and DC3D, DC3DD. Also, we have seen a command which is fdisk-l. This command is used to show all the storage devices connected to your system. As for mine, there are device disk which is of 476 gigabyte with the name this, and another disk we have /dev/sda which is of 238 GBs, which is my USB disk in which I have booted the Kali Linux. This disk is further have partitions which is dev/sda1, sda2, and sda3. In sda1 partition, I have my operating system booted, and In SD3 I have my precedence for the system, and there is another disk which is SD HDB, which is of 23 GB, which is also a USB drive which I have connected to my system. Yesterday we have read about DC3DD.
सर ये पार्टीशन जो भी बने हुए थे इनको एक बार फिर से समझा देंगे, क्या सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है ये पार्टीशंस? शायद ये लिनक्स अपने आप ही बनाता है।
So ये जैसे as there are, this is my Windows operating systems SSD, which is of 476 GB. These are the partitions in this particular disk, and this this is my USB device in which I have booted my Kali Linux. I have made a persistence in, or I can say I have make a partition in this to store all the data which I have downloaded in particular system or in Linux machine. That data will store in this particular partition. You can make more partitions, and the new partition will store as SDA4. I hope it is clear now. Yeah, so DC3DD can be used as to make bitwise disk cloning, used to copy disk partitions, used to copy folders and files. It also, DC3DD can also used to wipe out the data from the disk. We can simply install the DC3DD as sudo apt get install DC3 as I have already installed it. So yeah, I have it shows that the following packages are all automatically installed. Let's try some operations with DC3DD command. First we have how we can make a clone of a disk, or we can say how we can make an image of a disk. For now I have a USB drive, or I can say a USB disk of the with the name /dev/s/hdb, which is of 29 GB. If I want to make a image of this particular disk, or I can say if I want to make a clone of disk, I can use DC3DD for this. First I have to give the input disk name, or we can give their input file name for which we want to make copy by using if is equal to the proper disk name, which is dev/s/hdb. Then we can give the hash which we want to store in our log file. For test purpose, let me give hash as md5. You can give sha1, sha256, any hash you can give there. Then we will give the name for the log file. For test, let me give the log file name as test.log. Then after that we will give the file name of our image. In what will be the name of our image file? For this I will also give test.td. As you can see, the dc3dd command start copying the disk. It copied. It is also showing the ongoing progress which we have. It copied the following MBs. 1% is done. We have 20 Mbps speed of copying. When let me stop this. If we look into the file system, we have got a test.dd file created, which is our image file, and also we have a test.log file, which is our log file. We can go through the file and see the information about our log cloning process. Where here we have MD5 hash. Here we have output file name and the command which we have used, and all the information will saved in this log file. Another is use the another the another use for the dc3dd command is we can split the image file in many pieces. For now I have only 29 GBs disk to be cloned. If suppose if we have a bigger one, let's say we have 10 terabyte of data to be cloned, we can make it in one file, or we can make multiple files for that particular image. Data will the image will divide into multiple files. For this we will use dc3dd. If there we give the input disk name, or we can give their input file name. Then we can give their hash. Let's give the sha1. Then we will give the log file name. Log is equal to split test. Then we will give the size of the image file for one image file, which we'll give as ofsz is equal to. For now let's give the size 100 MB by M. And then we will give the output file name by ofs is equal to, we can give split test dot img dot. After we will give this, after this we will give the zeros. The first file save as split test.img.000. The another file will be saved as split test.img.001, and so on. Let me run this. As you can see, it started running. Start running. If 100 MB is completed, if a file is created. As you can see there, we have split text log file, and then we have a file selecttest.img.000. Then we have 001, 002, 004, 003. It will run until it completely clone the disk which we have given to it. We can also wipe out the data of a disk by using the DC3D command.
Sir, DC3DD was aborted in execution. How it was done?
Yeah, we can abort any process in command in terminal by using Control+C. Yeah, so if we delete some data from a disk, it is easily we can reget the data by using forensic operations. For to completely erase the data from a disk, we have to overwrite the disk. For that purpose, we can use DC3DD. We can overwrite the disk by zeros. We can overwrite the disk by hexadecimal patterns, and so on. Let me show you the example of disk wiping. We can wipe disk by DC3DD. Then we will give wipe is equal to, then we will give the disk name, or we can say file name there, which we have dev/sdb. If we simply run this command, the disk will overwrite it to with zeros. And if we want to overwrite a disk with hexadecimal pattern, we can give p80 is equal to the pattern which we want to fill it up. Let's say I want to fill my disk with 010001, and then I will hit enter. As you can see, my disk data is start wiping out. The speed we have there, and the disk wipe, how much our disk is wiped is there. It will take some time to terminate the progress.
Sir, what is the use of wiping there in the disk? Why we used to wipe it?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Why do we wipe the disk? What is the use?
The reason is very simple. Now, suppose you are doing the forensic backup in your system. You have got one disk. Now
Yes, sir.
that case is closed. Okay, you have investigation is over. Now you want
Yes,
to
sir.
use the same disk for another investigations. That is the time you need to wipe the disk. And sometime the
Okay.
error comes. Okay, when you are doing the things, your error comes. You want to redo it. Then again you have to wipe the disk and clean it, make it zero actually. And
Okay.
sometime, this disk, you don't want anybody to misuse it because it's the evidence of some crime. It should not fall into the wrong hand. So before I hand over the disk to the department, I'll wipe the entire disk by 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All zeros or ones, there is a technique for that. Okay. Once
Yes,
you
sir.
do that, then it becomes unrecoverable actually. And there is a NIST process for that actually. If you go to the FIPS, FIPS standard, you'll come to know how to do the wipe disk and what is the standard around that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And you might end up doing it. You might need to use it because once you use one command, after that you need to clean it, you redo that entire thing. So you will be doing it 100 times for learning this art actually.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
We can also overwrite and fill the drive with some text patterns also. Let me show another example for this. To overwrite the disk with text patterns, we will use wipe is equal to the disk name, which is slash dev slash hdb. Then we will use text pattern as tat is equal to. Then we will give text pattern as we can give any text pattern. I am giving there. Let's give CSAF. Then hit enter. Wait a second. Let me again open the terminal. Please. Let's again try this. Yes.
Sir, from which device you have booted the Kali Linux?
I am using an SSD for boot Kali Linux.
Means we are wiping data from SDB, which is not through which we have booted the Kali Linux.
No, let me show you. I think the
Don't try to sit on the, don't be the Kalidas, okay? Don't sit on the same tree and chop it off. You can't do that. You need to have another disk for wiping it out.
I have another USB drive. Let me show you. Yeah. So the device disk in which I have booted my Kali Linux is named as s dash slash dev slash sda, and I am performing the operations on. Wait. I am performing the operations on dev slash dev slash sdb. The another disk there's another USB disk I am performing the operations on.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So yesterday we have also studied about dd command, which is also like dc3dd. Both dc3dd and dd all are almost same, but in dc3dd we have some more benefit than dd command. Let's try dd command for acquire image of a disk. We will use dd. Then we will use if to give the input device name, or you can give file name. sdb. Then we will give the image name which we want to create as of by using of. Let's say dash dd dot iso. In dd there we can give some, we can give many yeah. So sorry, in dd we can give many type of file extension, output file extension. As I have given iso, I can also give the dd there, and I can also give the lakhs there, and so on. We have many file extension for the images, forensic images. There I am giving iso. This is the basic syntax for the dd command. If we can use more options in dd command also, we have, if you want to see status progress in the progress of our cloning, we can use status is equal to progress. As you can see, now we are getting status of the cloning of a disk. Let me stop this. If I do not use the status is equal to progress, the command, the dd command is started, but we are not getting any status of progress there. If I terminate this, we got only 333 MB is copied, and this was the speed of copying. If I use the status, then we will show we got their real-time status there. But we have more options in DD, like we can see the options. Any option from there, or we can go through the manual of the dd command to know more about the dd command. If, as you can see there, if read from the file, I think dd and dc3dd is clear now. Next we have GuiMagger. The GuiMagger is another standalone tool which is used to create forensic image and also used to perform disk cloning. The DC3DD, DD, these are the command line tool. We can work on terminal to perform the operations with TD and DC3DD. And the GuiMagger is a GUI tool, which is graphical user interface tool. We will to use GuiMagger, we don't have to type commands. We just need to click some buttons to make image, or we can say we just follow some steps to clone device or disk. The GuiMagger is not that much efficient than the DD command and DC3DD command. The GuiMagger is already pre-installed in Kali Linux. We can open the GuiMagger by going through applications, then we go forensics, then we go forensic imaging tools, then we have there GuiMagger. We will open GuiMagger there. From there, we can also open GuiMagger as sudo GuiMagger. As you can see, GuiMagger is opened. Let's go through the interface of the GuiMagger. We have there in the left uppermost corner we have the device, and we have there the scan button. If we have put a new device, we can rescan from there. And there we have help options. There we have the closing option. If our cloning is done, it will automatically closed. And then we have there the disk which are attached to our system as d/sdb, in which we are performing the operations. The d/sda, in which
सर
our
इसको और zoom कर सकते हैं क्या please?
wait a second. I think that much I can do.
Yeah, it's okay. It's readable now.
So these are the devices, storage devices, which are linked to my system, and there we have some more information about my devices. There we have status. Now at that time, these all are in idle state, which is these are in rest state. Ag- Then we have the size of the disk and another informations to make a clone of a disk, or we can say we can acquire the image of a disk. In using Guymaker, we have to right click on the disk. Let's suppose I want to acquire the image of dav/sdb. I will right click on it, and then we will click on acquire image. There we got another pop-up shown. First we have to select the file extension in which we want to store our image. There are two options, which is Linux DD and another one is EXX file extension. If we can store in DD format, or we can also store in DD format, and we can also store in
So team, the
EXX.
difference between the two is very simple. Suppose if you want to do the forensic investigation for incident or event, analysis within the security operations center, you don't require to put expert witness. Okay, you can use the Linux DD raw image file and you are good with that. But suppose if you want to present to the court of law, then it is good to follow the format because it provides a lot of other information you can write as a part of the test. So just Akash, just click the expert witness.
Yes, sir.
So the moment you put the expert witness, your numbers, the case number, evidence number, examiner names, descriptions, notes, notes can be detailed notes up to 256 words. You can write it there. That why it has been taken, what is the purpose, what case it is, all those things, information you can write. So the only difference between the two is there, second one, when you use it only when you are going to the court of law. But if you are going for incident analysis for a malware attack in your organization, I don't think, you need to go for expert witness. Linux DD raw image file is good enough for that.
Yes. If we select the expert witness, we can provide the case number of our image, evidence number, examiner who have acquired the image, and another description there. That's if we want to split the image as we do in DC3DD, we can click there and provide the size of the provide the size there. If we do not want to split, we can unclick this. Then we will here we will give the directory in which we want to store our image file. If we don't give any directory there, it will store in home directory. Then we will give the image file name without extension. So let me give there test USB. Then we will give the info file name, which is in DC3DD we have the log file, but in Guymaker we have info file. We can provide the name of the info file. Let me give info as the name, and there we have some more options. We can click on them if we want to calculate MD5 hash, SHA1 hash, SHA256 hash, and another options. To start the acquiring of image, we will click on start, and as you can see, the state of the disk is go from ideal to running. Now here we have progress, and here we have another average. There we got our average speed, and there in the lower left corner we have some more information about it. Here we have size, sector size, image file, and the info file name, current speed. There we have started time, we have hash calculation, we have image verification. If we turn on image verification, we can turn on it, and we have, as you can see, it will take 48 minutes to acquire that image, and it will store it in our home directory as test_usd.dd. If we want to stop it, we will click on abort, and if we want to delete the file which is already created, we can delete, and if we do not want to delete, we can just unclick it. As you can see, the operation is aborted by user. We can also make clone for device. Here we can give the name, name of info file. Yeah, so the KiMaker we can also use for making some like bootable device. If I want to make a bootable device of my Windows system, here we have my Windows systems disk, as it is okay for cloning, and here we have my Linux system disk. We can make clone of both of them by using start button. By this we can make clone, or we can acquire images by using the KiMaker. If somebody have any questions and queries, you can ask us now.
Team, it's a time for you to ask the questions, because if you don't ask the questions, we'll assume you all have become expert and will move forward, and you will lose a window of interactions.
Sir, have you booted Kali Linux through pen drive or from hard disk?
I have booted it from with a SSD device. You can use hard disk also. You can use pen drive. You can use DVD also for that purpose.
Okay, so there is a question from Sri S. Mehdi,
Sir,
sir, how to acquire image from a compromised device?
Okay, sir, that's all okay, sir. But this DD format image is acquired right now, okay, from the SDA or SDB drives. But how to analyze this and with which tools we can analyze this DD?
Yeah, we'll go into detail. Don't worry about it. Right now, we have covered the evidence acquisition. Analysis will come after acquisition. Okay, so we'll go step by step.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, thank
It
you.
is just first step. It's the first lessons. We are repeating it again for your benefit. Today is we are going to cover the evidence acquisition, and maybe in couple of days from now we'll go into analysis part of it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So how to acquire image from a compromised systems? There are two part of it. Which I'm just forehand telling you that there is a memory part of it, which is a RAM memory, random access memory, and the page file in Windows.
Windows hard disks.
And the second one is the hard disk. So there are two things that we need to take. Hard disk is something which is written on the hard disk, okay? But there are some, when you are taking the machines to compromise systems, forensics, you need to take the image and the page file also if it is Windows systems. And if it is a
Repetitions.
Linux system, you can still take the memory, random access memory, snapshots.
Okay, sir. If the system is not responding due to some cyber attack, how to
Yeah,
actually-
then there are ways for that. We'll go into that. If the machine is shut down, it is not opening it up. Okay, then how you'll do the analysis for that? Okay, so for that, we have got next chapter. So just bear with me. Next 2 minutes we'll cover that. Okay. Akash, next we are going to file carving. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So let me share my screen. You can unshare yourself.
You can share now, sir.
Yeah, sure.
GuiMaker is only for image acquisition. Whether this GuiMaker is useful for analysis the same image?
Yeah,
You can
it is
do some
only
bit of
for
analysis out of that. Actually, you can do some bit of analysis of the. That's why I'm saying just hold your breath. We are still in the image acquisitions. We'll go step by step to analysis also. Okay. Kindly put yourself on mute, gentlemen. Please put yourself on mute because it doesn't look nice to hear the voice from behind. Vinayji, can you just mute yourself? Okay, so we'll be covering, the second stage of work, which is a little more complicated. Okay. So when we are, extracting the data, we are taking the image, we may find something that, some file is deleted. Okay. Or we have to extract the information from file or disk, which is, broken actually. It is not booting up. It can be a flash drive which does not have a file extensions attached to that. So you are finding it difficult to recover. But as a forensic analyst, many times, you have to overcome the challenges and find, evidences for whatever is available. And frankly speaking, in the last 20-25 years time, forensic science has really jumped leaps and bounds and tried to acquire new knowledge around that. Okay, so Anupji, you have asked for a question that we need to redo the acquisitions. We are not going to do it. You have to go to the video tomorrow before you come to the classroom. Okay, yesterday we had a session, we had a session today also. After 2 sessions, if I have to repeat it, that's not possible. So you go and revisit your video, which is available on YouTube. Okay, after the session, you can go and join and revisit both the videos. You will find significantly large amount of information around that. So the challenges in forensics, has gone many folds. Many people, they want to destroy. Have you seen the movies where the people destroy the mobile phones? They burn the mobile phones, they burn the computers just to avoid any recovery of data. Forensic examiners encounter such challenges. And many times there are very, very specialized activities are carried out. Many times the people wipe out the desk. And still, forensic examiner, they have to find whatever little is left. They have to find the disk, evidence out of that. So forensic examiner's job, with the modern technology that is coming up, every day, has become, little more challenging, but same time, they are finding ways how to recover the data, even from the deleted drives or, deleted without any, extension files, and many times it is a distorted files, or many times the system itself is dysfunctional, but still disk is there and you have to take the disk out of it, information out of it. So for file recovery and data carving, there are two subjects, and which will talk about it. Yes, Sajal, you have a question?
Sir, you just said that ki file we can extract data from the deleted disk as well. But sir, अगर हम DC3DD का कमांड यूज करके 5-6 बार डाटा वाइप कर देते हैं अपने डिस्क को, क्या उसके बाद भी डाटा एक्सटेंशन उसमें से रिकवर करना पॉसिबल हो है?
यदि थोड़ा सा भी मिस्टेक किया हो तो होगा, ठीक है। एंड
5-6
नॉर्मली
बार भी 5-6 बार भी
हाँ,
वाइप
6
करने
बार
के
7
बाद
बार
भी?
8 बार भी करने के बाद कुछ भी मिस्टेक किया हो तो निकलेगा डाटा, ठीक है। तो and there are a specialized way for that, ठीक है। So in this chapter, today's this part of the sessions, we'll try to cover it up, some components. What is file recovery? What is data carving? And then there are 3 tools for, file recovery and data carving is foremost a scalpel and bulk extractor. I think we are going to cover bulk extractor, Akash, or all 3 of them.
Yeah, we can cover all 3 of them.
Okay.
And I have
And
another
finally,
one.
we are going to conclude and do some exercises around that. Okay. Are you all ready to continue beyond 9? Is that right? Or you want to drop here and it's too much of information, so we can do it tomorrow?
So we can continue.
Okay. And anybody else, really dozing off after the office hour?
Sir, what about a PGDCD batch?
That Rupesh ji, you should go and join there. PGDCD bad can go join.
Sir,
We can,
it is delayed.
Video will be available for you.
sir, class should be only up to 9, sir, because we are all coming from offices, so it's
Okay. So
exhausting.
then we have only 10 minutes. So we'll stop it here and we'll see if we can, cover some of. Okay, we have 10 minutes, so we'll cover the theory part of it and tomorrow we'll do the practical. Is that okay with all of you?
Okay, sir. Concentration is required in practical work, sir.
Okay.
So theory part covered today.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. So there are, concepts, suppose if time you accidentally deleted a file and lost important file, many times due to system crash, and I know that, your lifetime photograph in the disk and you don't know how to recover the disk after that. Actually, everything is gone. Your children's photograph, the memories, everything gone. But there are ways to recover these files. And that is we'll be discussing in today and tomorrow we'll do the practical around that. So file recovery has got 2 processes. One, how to undelete it and find from the disk. That is one. From many things. It can be from hard drives, from USBs, from memory cards. It can be from the clouds. It can be from OneDrive, wherever it is there. If it is mounted and it is available for us, carving, can be done. The second component is a word use, carving. Carving, is a very complex process. Simple data deleted, undeleting the data is not a big job. You can find it out and you can, recover from there. But carving is a much more complex part of that, which is actually very specialized technique you could extract data from unallocated space on a storage device. Now, whenever you have a particular information written in a particular block, you will find that in the block will have some unallocated space left. Now you have to take the data from there because nothing is working, the disk is not booting, and you have to take out something from the disk. In those cases, carving techniques becomes an important part of the ingredient. So let's understand the file recovery, definitions. Okay. So file recovery is the process of retrieving data that has been lost or deleted from storage device. It is important because it can help individual and organization recover valuable information that may have been accidentally deleted or lost due to hardware failure or cyber attack. Now, there are a lot of good tools are available, but we are focusing only on open source free tools which are available to us, so that we don't need to pay thousands of dollars for getting those files back. Okay. So file carving is a very unique technique. It's a critical technique in digital forensics and data recovery. Now the challenge is that it helps you recover, extract the files or data from storage media even when the file system metadata is damaged. We have discussed about metadata in our last class. Those who were not there, for their benefit. Metadata is the data about the data sets. If you have a Word file, you can go and search the property of the Word file. You will get a lot of data about that file. Who created that data, when it was created, which machine it has been created, what are the parameters are there, what is the file names are there, what is the header data is there. So there are data about the data itself is known as metadata. Even if the metadata is damaged, missing, or inaccessible, file carving can be an amazing capability for the investigation, because even nothing is there, you can still try to find out the data from those damaged or missing disk, actually missing part of the disk. So if you look into a typical unallocated space, suppose if you are having a JPEG headers, okay, so now you are finding JPEG headers are there, and you are finding the footers attached to that. But many times, the technology is such that you will have to search for a pattern of the data within the unallocated space, such as headers and footers. Now, data can be extracted and reconstructed into usable files very easily with certain tools. And we are going to talk about 3 tools, bulk extractors, scalpel, and what's the third one?
Foremost.
Yeah, foremost. Yeah. So we are going to use these 3 tools to find it. So what is the use of, file carving? There are some use cases around that. And there are many, actually. There's not just one. Family photograph is definitely one of the use cases for file carving cases. You go to some of the shops. If you are in Delhi, you go to Nehru Place and ask somebody to recover your images from those broken disk or deleted disk or maybe burned disk. They go and do the file carving, actually, and they charge you heavily for that. But some of the basic stuff, you can do it with yourself with the help of, it. In addition to that, in criminal investigations, law enforcement agency use file carving to recover evidences in criminal cases. And there are many cases we have seen that, the child pornography cases, people delete the files, they read it, they see it, and then delete it in the disk, and the copy of the disk remains there as a deleted image. So when the person gets, caught, those deleted images and videos from the storage device can be recovered, can be one use case. Many times the data breaches, what they do they wipe out the disk. Now your sensitive data has gone or altered. If you want to recover, the data, this can aid in incident response and legal proceedings. Similarly, historical data recovery, many times, the old systems are there, which operating system is not the same. Now, suppose if you are using Windows anti-file, and you are in Windows 11, possibly this will not read it. But you want those historical document, photos, multimedia from old storage media, like floppy drives and tapes. You can use, the tool like, extractor, bulk extractors or scalpel or foremost for recovering those data sets. And similarly, many times testing and validations, of some of the files, you can show that, how it has been done. So file carving is a valuable skill and technique. It requires a lot of patience, I can tell you. It's not as simple as I spoke. It's a very complex process, because in the disk, in the sector, broken sectors will be there. And many times there will be, moving of file from one sector to another sectors. Some portion has been saved in this sector, some portion in another sector, another sector is burned. It's not going to be an easy job for a file carving experts. But I know there are significantly large talent pools are there in India, and I have seen the burn disk, people are able to take out the, capability. And there are capability, particularly I have seen it in Bombay, a friend of mine who is an expert on this area. He has got awesome lab for recovering even from the burn disk, actually. Some of the, criminals, what they do it, they will, go to the lathe machines and they will just cut the disk, okay? Now, they have cut in 1 or 2 places, but there are other places where the data is still there. And the disk is found, and they are able to recover from even that disk. Yeah, it is very difficult to find all the information. Cut pieces are not available with you. But any sectors where the data is there, if some valuable informations are there, they are able to recover and find the evidences against the criminals. So there are 3 tools we'll discuss it today. Foremost is definitely a very powerful recovery tool that can help you recover the lost data from various type of various devices. It is an open source software that works on Linux and Unix based systems. Okay. The only challenge is that it does not work properly in the Windows systems. Okay. And then you have got, and it's a very simple command, you have, and which will show you, it's a, you can simply install foremost, and once you install it, run the following command, it's a fourth part of the command, foremost all /i path to image.dd. So image.dd file will be created and your output directory where you want to keep it actually. So, and then you have got a scalpel is a very, very powerful tool. And particularly I love this tool for two reasons. It takes, almost all sort of, devices that I have practiced on actually. Particularly for, devices like SD card, SSD cards, micro SD cards, it does recovers from all of them actually. And again, the command is very similar, very simple. It's not very complex. Here you have to put the scalpel, configuration files, and then output directory and path to the image.dd. Straight away, three steps, components. And then you have got bulk extractor. Bulk extractor is something very, very powerful. It does it for both Windows and non-Windows systems, Unix systems or star.nix systems. And it's very easy to do that. Again, very simple, simply output directory and path to image.dd. Very, very simple tools and a very powerful tool to extract the information even from the broken or the undeleted files can be recovered with this command. Okay, so we'll stop it here, today. So thank you so much, for reminding me stopping at 9. I love it because I have also come back from the office. It's long time now. And namaskar to all of you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I hope all of you have done the attendance. If you have not, please do it. Don't miss it, the attendance, because your attendance is important for that. I have shared it, the link. If any one of you have not done it, just redo it. It is there on your chat window.
Why did you share it, sir? On
yeah, I have shared it on the chat window, meeting chat window.
Okay.
Yeah, it is there on the meeting chat window. Please,
Okay,
please.
I don't
have
know.
reshared it.
Reshare it, sir.
I have reshared it right now. Again, I'm resharing it. Okay.
So, but yesterday you haven't sent any link about
No,
that.
don't worry about it. I don't do it every day.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just give a surprise to the team. This is crime prevention through environmental design. Many people,
Is the survey, it is the Balaji survey of checking if everyone is attending the class regularly or not, right, sir?
Absolutely. I'll give a surprise for you, actually.
It is necessary.
Absolutely, Vivekji. Thank you. Just give your feedback as well, whether you're really picking it up. But ladies and gentlemen, it is important to do the practice. You will not learn unless you do the practice in your home. And we have little control on your practice. You have to prove that you have done it. You learn only when you do the practice. By listening to, you can understand the theory around that, but you will not become a practical guy around that. So,
what to fill in institute or organization name?
Put your whatever organization you work for. If you are in college, you put your college name.
So if we are working, if a working professional.
If you are working in a company, you give the company name. Yes, sir. We'll share you the command list, whatever we have done it till today, by late evening today or today. Okay. Akash, please help team, get the list. Okay.
Sure, sir.
When you say organization या institute name, तो USET Hazaribagh लिख दे.
Yeah, if you are studying there in USET, you write USET. Don't miss the attendance, please. Okay.
ये व्हाट्सएप में भेज दिए देखा देखा रे? ओए, देखा व्हाट्सएप में भेज दे.
Don't send the link to the WhatsApp, those who have not participated in the link, because I'll have the attendance with me on your Zoom. Don't make that mistake. If somebody does it, you'll end up in trouble.
I will not attend the previous 2 days class.
Because in
due
any
to-
case, I have the attendance, from your Zoom, actually, Zoom login.
Sir, I will not attend the previous 2 day class due to joining issue. So,
Yeah, there is an issue. If you are not attending the class, there is an issue.
sir, joining issue timing.
I can't help you with that, gentlemen. Saturday, Sunday, you'll have to join on the day hours.
End of the day, you will provide certificate or not?
We'll talk to you separately.
Sir, I will pay the fees, sir, paying for a certificate. So it is very difficult to pay.
Certificates are earned. Certificates are not purchased. It's not purchased here. You can buy it from SANS or, EC councils. Certificates are not sold in Cyber Vidyapeeth. You have to earn it and you have to write all the exams, all attendance. That's it.
But I will pay the fees for certificate.
So what, you can't buy the certificate. Even if you have paid for certificate, if you don't write the exam, you don't attend the class, you're not going to get the certificate just because you have paid the money.
But fees I will pay now.
No argument on it. It is the final and binding. If you can't listen to it, it's your problem.